It's Sunday, November 4th of 2018, and my job here is done. Guy's Daily Drive. Hello, everyone. This has been a long drive. A lot of driving today, as I've done for the last 3 weekends. I went to my brother's house again to, on the hope that I was going to be able to finish up the moving of all the data from his wife's old computer to his new computer. And I am thankful to say that yes, it is done. And for once, things just went the way that they were kind of supposed to. I got there. I got up early this morning. The whole plan was, because the last 2 weeks, the first week we left at 11, so we got out there about 1. So I only had about 4 to 5 hours. Then last weekend I went a little earlier, but still, it didn't really give me the time that I wanted. And so this week it was like, okay, I'm going to leave between 7 and 8 a.m., which is what I did. So I got out there, it was about 10 o'clock. Which gave me the time that I needed. And fortunately, because of some of the work that I did last week, the computer itself was pretty much set up. Everything that it needed to run Mac OS Mojave, to have Microsoft Office running, and to have his wife's email accounts working, that was all done. Though I had to make a couple of tweaks to her email account. But it was like everything, it was like, okay, I need to do this. Bing, I got done. Need to do this. Bing, got done. Got all the emails transferred from her old computer to her new computer. She had literally hundreds of documents, and they were scattered all over the hard drive. And one thing that my brother did in anticipation of me coming today, besides doing a complete backup, he also took the carbon copy cloner backup that he had done and moved that into a user account on the new computer. So almost all of the data that his wife had was on the computer. Excuse me. It just needed to be organized. It needed some scrubbing, and some of the details needed to be worked out. So we set up a separate user account, kind of a throwaway account, thinking this is where we were just going to dump everything. And then once we got a little better organized, we were going to move it to the main account. And that turned out to be the way to go. So I searched all through the secondary user account that we had set up, that my brother dumped everything into, found all the documents, put it into the documents folder. There was stuff everywhere. There was stuff in the downloads folder. There was stuff on the desktop. There was stuff in the user folder. I mean, it was everywhere. But we got all that straightened out, and it all got moved. So that part was easy. There were two things that were kind of tough. Number one was their photo library, because they were still using iPhoto, which Apple dropped a couple years back. So the library with all their photos in it was, number one, it was an iPhoto library. Number two, it was a much older version of iPhoto. An older version of iPhoto that isn't supported anymore in really anything. So I managed to get it to work in the throwaway account, but once I did that, the iPhoto Library, because there's this program Apple has that converts iPhoto libraries into something that photos can use. But once you do that, you're stuck with where they are. You can't just move the library, or at least it wasn't letting me. So I had to go back to the original computer, get the original iPhoto library, the unmodified iPhoto library, move that to the new user account, and then run that utility to fix the iPhoto library into something that photos could use. And that worked. So it was like email, got it working. Microsoft Office, got it working. Photos, got it working. She didn't have anything in iTunes, so didn't have to worry about that. And everything just clicked. Everything just worked really, really well. So instead of, driving home at 8 o'clock at night, which I really didn't want to do again, I got out of there. It was a little after 2, like between 2 and 2:30, which was good because I had to drive through Baltimore, and I have to drive through the D.C. area, and both the Baltimore Ravens and the Washington Redskins had home games both at 1 o'clock. So by leaving around 2:30, that allowed me to definitely get past the Ravens stadium, and I think they lost or are losing. And I got real close to the Redskins stadium by the time it was obvious that they were going to lose to Atlanta. They're like 3 scores down in Atlanta, so that's not happening. However, the Dolphins are beating the Jets, so yay, that makes me happy. The Dolphins have one of these up and down seasons where it's obvious they're not going anywhere in the postseason, but okay, what are you going to do? So the last thing I did before I left, he'd bought a 2 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive, and that's what he had used to transfer the information from the old computer to the new computer. Well, once all the information was in the new computer, then we could turn around and use that drive as a backup drive, because the backup drive he had been using, it's pretty much shot. So I partitioned it into 2 1 terabyte partitions. I used one, and his wife is using like between 300 and 400 gigs on a 1 terabyte hard drive. So the one partition is for Time Machine. The second partition is for Carbon Copy Cloner. Now, the fact that they're both going to the same hard drive, it is a backup. But the old saying is, if you don't have your data in at least 3 places, you don't have a backup. But I'm not going to be able to convince my brother to invest in another hard drive, some other way to back it up, or to invest in online backup solutions. So this is about as good as it's going to get. Before I left, I'd started the Time Machine backup, I'd started the Carbon Copy Cloner backup, and it's set up to do a backup Sunday mornings at 2 a.m. all automatically. So that's all done. Everything that he needed is taken care of. The computer is up and running. Once the backups are done, his wife will be able to use the computer again. So everything is, it's working. It's done. I'm happy. They're happy. I got a nice sandwich out of it. Now, They did ask if I wanted to stay for dinner, and normally I would have said yes because my sister-in-law is like an amazing cook. But the last 2 weekends, I've gotten home really, really late. And I'm just tired. So we'll be going back there for Thanksgiving, which is it's so good. I'm so looking forward to that. And I'll get some of that good Marisa food then. Yum. So I think that's going to about do it. I'm getting close to home here, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all so very, very much for downloading and listening to Guy's Daily Drive. I greatly appreciate it. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can send me an email to guy@mymac.com. And I'm on the Twitters if you'd like to reach me through there. My Twitter handle there is MacParrot. What else? I have a coffee page that you can donate to help offset my costs for doing things like this and the Mac to the Future livecast. And that is ko-fi/MacParrot, or just look me up by name, Guy Searle. I also have a Patreon page. You can donate there if you would like. And that is patreon.com/MacParrot. Every little bit helps. And I greatly appreciate all the people who have donated in the past. Thank you also very, very much. So that is going to about do it. Actually, real quick, don't forget I also do the Mac to the Future livecast. That's on Wednesday nights. Typically, though the last 2 weeks has been on Thursday nights, but typically Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. with Warren Sklar and occasionally with David Ginsburg. And I also do the MyMac.com podcast with Mr. Gazmaz. Been doing that for a really, really long time. And that's going to about do it for this week, I think. So thank you all once again for listening and or watching Guy's Daily Drive. And I will see you next time.